Okay, here's the battlefield. This is the battlefield where the Battle of the Clouds would have taken place. Now, Washington's army was at the White Horse Tavern at the Lancaster Pike. Now, during this time when Anthony Wayne's division of about 1,000 Pennsylvanians was retreating from Boot Tavern, he had descended on this area. Now, Washington's aides kind of told him that where the White Horse Tavern wasn't safe. It wasn't an area where they couldn't protect, they couldn't form their lines. So basically, they withdrew. They withdrew to this point where I'm standing, which is about a quarter of a mile, half a mile away from the White Horse Tavern. Now, as you can see behind me, we're still in the Great Valley. This area was chosen because it's a little bit lower. We're a little further down in the Great Valley. But also, there's a line of retreat. As you can see behind me, this would have been farmers' fields. There would have been nothing here at all. You would have been able to see for miles on either end. Now, when Washington's army formed here, something extraordinary happened. They were retreating to this area. They were ready. The British were there. The British were at the White Horse Tavern. They were near Washington. Basically, what happened was the skies opened up. It was a classic nor'easter, as they put it. It rained for 2 days. Now, the rain started as Washington arrived in this area. He set up his troops on either side in a line formation of about 10,000 individuals. Now, during this time, it rained. It rained hard. They knew it was going to rain. Now, colonials back then, they had gunpowder in a tube of paper, and they had a lead ball on top. They would carry this ammunition, as they called it, into a cartridge box. Basically, it was a box, a wood, it would have been a wood block that they would put their ammunition into. Now, this box had a flap that went over top. Now, in 1777, these cartridge boxes were basically handmade. They weren't Army issued. These boxes usually were made at home. They were very ill suited for the weather. Because of this, water got into their ammunition and destroyed it. So when it started to rain, these armies couldn't fight. They had muskets that didn't operate. They had to, at that time, their gunpowder, it was very susceptible to like moisture. And basically what happened was they got a few volleys off here. They did form a line here. They did fire upon the British. But unfortunately, they didn't have a battle here. By the time they started fighting, it got wet and nothing happened. Both armies knew that there was going to be a storm. They actually stopped the fighting. And what's ironic again about Howe's movement, like we were saying in Dilworth Town, he didn't pursue the army. Again, Howe had a chance to knock Washington off. He didn't do it. What happened was Howe and Cornwallis were stationed at the White Horse Tavern. They were there. They were directing the battle from that area. When they saw the rain, they knew that it would be difficult to follow Washington, at which time they didn't. What happened was it was a quagmire. Those roads that we just looked at, the Lancaster Pike, were dirt. It got muddy, it got bad, their wagons couldn't move, their cannons couldn't move. Now, when you have about, at that time, I think there was about 7,000 or 8,000 British at that time up in that area. And it rained and the roads were impassable. Now, what Washington had to do was when he was in Philadelphia after leaving Chester, he probably restocked his army in Philadelphia. There would have been some loyalists there and there would have been some rebels there. There would have been two different types of people. Most likely, he got maybe a couple field pieces. Basically, he went to Philadelphia, got some field pieces and ammunition, at which time he crossed the Schuylkill and he landed in this area. He wanted, like I said, he wanted another go. This was his chance, but it rained. Now, as you see behind me, I'm going to pan around to get an idea of this area. Now, this area is significant because it's low, and you can form lines here. You have a good angle of retreat. I can just go towards the Mount Hope up here. You just, head to the north, at which they did. After this battle, it wasn't really a battle, it was a small battle, they retreated. They retreated, they had to leave. Where they went to Reading, Pennsylvania. They had to restock their ammunition. They had to get new powder, at which they did. Now, the Battle of the Clouds really wasn't really a battle, but it was an engagement. I mean, people did die here. There's accounts of about maybe 100 people on both sides, 50 on each side dying. But this is the area. I'm going to pan around to get an aspect of it. As you can see, it's very flat here. It's not hilly at all. It's easy to defend. They would have defended this area fiercely. Our lines would have been here. Now, after this engagement, when Washington went to Reading, he wanted to leave some people behind. He wanted to harass the baggage, or the British baggage. He didn't want to take his whole army to Reading because basically he didn't want Cornwallis or Howe following him. That was the main arsenal for the Continentals, was in Reading. So he left Anthony Wayne. Again, you hear Anthony Wayne. He left 2,000, maybe possibly 1,500 to about 1,700 Continentals on the Lancaster Road. He left them behind in the rain. It was pouring rain. Now, they didn't have supplies either. They had to restock from another location. Most likely they had whatever was left from Washington's army was given to Anthony Wayne, and they were stationed along the Lancaster Pike, where Malvern is today. We'll get into that in another video. But this is the Battle of the Clouds, and I just wanted to mention that this area was strategically chosen by Washington and his aides. They came here to fight possibly around the 18th of September, 1777.